Welcome back to Wide Gaming. Today we're going to be talking about Generation Zero's Dangerous Experiments update, which is slated to be coming very damn soon, which is pretty damn cool. Everyone's excited, I'm excited. It's going to feature new experimental weapons, and in today's video what we're going to do is go over what we definitely know so far. I'm not talking leaks, I'm not talking rumours, I'm talking what has been confirmed and what we do know is coming, alongside going off of that information how you can actually prepare for the Dangerous Experiments update, because there are new experimentals coming, so you will need to do some prep, especially if you want to get them a little bit quicker. Now, the dev stream on Wednesday, which was, what was that, the 31st or 30th of November, whatever day it was, the last day of November was the dev stream, where a few little things were mentioned. We didn't get too much, but we did get some news on the potential of a release date coming next week. So on Wednesday, the next dev stream, we could see a release date announced there. If not, it may be a little bit before that. But hopefully we'll be seeing something next week regarding a release date and potentially a hell of a lot more information on the Dangerous Experiments update. Now, what else was mentioned is obviously the collectibles, but we will go into that in a little bit. Surrounding the collectibles though, the North Coast region. That did have a little bit of a revamp, but now what it's going to have is that revamp finished off, tidied up, and new collectibles added in and around that area. Very exciting, I love it. Now, the bit that everybody is here for, the experimental weapons. They have not said what these weapons will be, but they have said they are base game weapons, and it almost brings every base game weapon into the experimentals system. Pretty damn cool. Now, the ones that we are missing at the moment, we've got the hunting rifles, obviously a couple of shotguns, and alongside that, obviously, the Pontus and the AI-76. Now, I myself am very excited for the AI-76. I do hope it's pretty much a community favourite, so I really do hope that that gets a little bit of love and attention in the way of an experimental. Alongside that, I would definitely love to see the Magnus get some attention too. Hopefully, one of those two at least will come true, but I do have a feeling that both of those will be experimentals. Now, the way of getting these, I don't know how people are going to feel about this. I'm actually quite excited about it because I find it relatively simple to do. All it takes is an AG4 experimental and some fire/shock rounds. Absolutely awesome. It is an OP build, the AG4 experimental with its fire rounds and the experimental shock ammo. And what you're going to use that ammo on, let me guess, everybody knows. You've got to know just by those words. The Reaper. Oh hell yeah. Now these three new experimental weapons are tied into the Reaper itself. So the way we're actually going to be going and getting them is by killing the Reaper. Now there are a few ways you can prepare for that, but we will talk about that a little bit later on. Let's talk some more about the new collectibles. Now, some of these were accidentally in the game already, and you can find them in a few places, but if you do come across these, do not collect them because it could affect your progress when they actually pop into the game. Now, what they are new collectibles, and they are basically little war figurines, which pretty damn cool. I love them. They're like little 3D printed things. I think they're so cool. And you know what I'm like, I'm a stickler for collectibles. I love my collectibles. So very excited to actually see these. But there's going to be a North Coast revamp as well. So quite buzzing for that. Now, they released this image alongside the Dangerous Experiments collectibles. Brand new collectibles enter the world of Osterton. These new figurines tell the story of a faction of Soviet soldiers tasked to reverse engineer the Phoenix AI. Find them soon in Generation Zero. Awesome, right? Now, let's talk about preparation for the Dangerous Experiments update. Now, you may ask what I mean by that, especially if you're new to the channel, but when it comes to farming in this game, there are a few ways you can actually prepare yourself before the update drops. Now, obviously we're taking on the Reaper, and he is tied behind a region score. So the most simple way of actually going after this dude is improving that region score. Now, if you don't know what the region score is and how to improve it, let's go over that a little bit. So this is your region score. When you open the map screen, hover over a corresponding region. So right now I'm in the farmlands, and that will give you your region stats. At the top you have the threat level, threat points, active rivals, and resistance bases. Now, the downside to actually spawning a Reaper now is it is a lot harder than it used to be, because as you improve your threat level, so it gets higher and higher, the more the machines respond. But there used to only be rivals that jump in, and then the rivals level up. Now, obviously, you have the rivals leveling up, the bases leveling up, and the Reaper. Now, each time you get to a certain level, you have a chance for one of these things to happen. Basically, it happens after you get to sort of level 16 to 18, and then you start to see rivals' bases pop in. And obviously, because you only have a chance, it could be a rival or it could be a base. And then when you get to 22 to 24, that is when you have the chance of seeing a Reaper. The only downside to this is because you've obviously got all those other rivals in there. You don't have all those rivals in there, let's say. You have a less chance for the Reaper to spawn. So it's a little bit complex, but it's not at the same time. So you have a chance for one of 5 things to happen each time you finish combat. But obviously, because you've got one of 5 things to happen, that decreases the chance that you're going to have the Reaper showing up. So what you are going to want to do is build up your region score to an absolute nuts, as high as you can get it, and make sure you've got all high-level rivals, all high-level bases, and that way it improves the chance for just the Reaper to spawn. Because if you have the max amount of rivals in the area, the max amount of bases in the area, and they're all upgraded, the only thing you've got left to actually happen is for that Reaper to spawn in. But do make sure you only have 7 active rivals in any region. If you have 8 active rivals, that takes away the point for the Reaper, so then he will not be able to spawn. He counts as a rival, so that way, that basically means if there's 8 in, that's it. Whereas if there's 7, he can become the 8th rival. I hope that makes sense. I hope I did make it make sense. A little bit confusing, but yeah, pretty simple. You know, shoot the crap out of loads of machines. That'll bring your region score up. Only thing you do not want to do is attack bases and attack rivals, because that brings your region level down. If you do need to attack a rival to bring it down to those 7 active rivals in the area, go for the lowest denominator. So that would be a a hunter of the lowest possible class. I hope that makes sense. If it didn't, then let me know, and I'll get it typed up and put it in the comments as well. Now, if you can do that with every region, get them all as max as possible, that's going to make things a hell of a lot easier for you, because you can only have 1 Reaper in any region at one time. So if you've got one in the farmlands, you won't be able to spawn him anywhere else. But what you can do is level up those areas ready to go. Because he is on, I'm pretty sure it's an hour cooldown. So if he spawns in, let's say hour 1, he won't spawn in again until hour 2. But if you spawned him in hour 1 and he's been there for hours and hours and hours, as soon as you've killed him, if your level is high enough, there is a chance that he will spawn straight back in. So always good to just spawn one in as early as possible and just leave him there. Let him do his own thing, then go kill him when you actually need to. Once you have improved your region score, the best thing you want to do is just make sure you've got a nice chunk of ammo, a nice chunk of, you know, consumable items, so flares, meds, all of that good stuff, and then just keep yourself nice and stocked, because you can burn through ammo relatively quickly whilst taking on this dude. But I also want to stress that whilst you are grinding regions, definitely lower your difficulty, because you don't get any more points for playing in a harder difficulty. All you do is give yourself a little bit more of an aneurysm and use a hell of a lot more ammo. So keep that in mind, you know, keep the difficulty down. If you're just in it for the farming at this point, it makes life much easier and you get much more reward for your effort. For now though, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap that one up there. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, please drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and stick around for more Generation Zero. We'll see you in the next one.